Okay, we'll start with that signature 2-rock in the middle, right?
Yeah.
That signature 2-rock, I did a demo of it. Man, it was like the best tremolo, 2 tremolos in the world. Let's hear all about this madness.
Yeah, so I mean, it started out, I was playing on a record in LA, and I had posted something on Instagram, and Josh Smith sent me a message and was like, "Hey man, I like your guitar playing. You should, if you have some time off, you should come and hang out at my studio." I was like, "Oh man, Josh Smith just texted me on the internet." So I went by his studio, and he kind of gave me a tour, and we sat down to do some playing, and he plugged me into his 2-rock TS1 that they had built for him, and it was like the sound I had been looking for.
Huh.
And so I, after we hung out for a bit, I was like, "Man, you gotta make an intro for me."
Yeah.
So I called Eli from 2-rock and said, "Hey, I would love to get one of these things." It kind of blew my mind. Can we make something happen? And Eli sort of said, "Yeah, what are you after?" It's just whatever you did with Josh's amp. That's what I'm after.
Yeah.
Maybe with reverb, because Josh's didn't have reverb, or no, it did have reverb, but it didn't have a master volume. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And Eli was kind of like, "Come on, man, be a little more adventurous." So I just sort of described something. He said, "Well, we're making a new amp called the Bloomfield Drive, and I think that we can maybe customize it a little bit and make it kind of sit somewhere between what the production line Bloomfield is going to be and something kind of like what Josh's amp is." And it was phenomenal. But in that conversation, I was like, "I'm super into brown face Fenders. Like, what are the chances that we could try to do like harmonic tremolo in there?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, no chance. It's like there's a reason Fender stopped doing it. It's hard circuit to make. It's expensive. It's a pain in the ass. It's a great sound, but probably no." I was like, "Okay, no problem." And then fast forward a few years later, and I think he and I kind of really bonded over those like sort of early '60s brown Fenders. And a couple years later, he was like, "Okay, man, let's do it. Let's. I want your feedback. Let me know." I said, "Okay, cool. That's great. Like, what do you think you're going to call it?" He was like, "Well, what do you think about the Joey Landreth signature?" And I was like, my whole childhood flashed before my eyes. And, so that's kind of how this thing was born. And we tossed around a lot of ideas. There was a few prototypes, but he sent me the first prototype was very early concert. So like really mid-rangey and really, really cool. But it was kind of like, I really missed the like heavy 2-rock vibe that my Bloomfield had. Tremolos were perfect. He nailed them like the 2-rock guys nailed them like right out of the gate. But we worked on the preamp for a while. It's kind of what I'm trying to say. And we eventually he sent me a second prototype and it was like, "Oh, this is really happening." He's like, "Okay, send it back. I'm going to clean it up." And then he called me one day and said, I think we've made something very special here." So he sent me the third prototype, and I plugged it in, and like legitimately shed a tear.
Oh, that's great.
It was like, it's beautiful. But yeah, so we worked on it a long time, and
that's great, man. That's a great origin story that it came through Josh, who's just, my God, what an amazing
man. He is such a great guitar player.
So great.
Yeah. I definitely don't belong playing guitar side by him, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll work on it.
You're great too. You're a different kind of great.
Stop it. This whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of how that was born, and
well, let's hear those. Can we hear an A/B of those 2 tremolos? Kind of what you're doing with it?
Yeah, for sure.
Because that, to me, that is like this. That is the secret weapon that you'd never want to turn off.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, so this is just a preamp.
Love it. So great.
So good. Maybe a little too chewy, but
there is no too.
And then here's the bias. And then, of course, you can have them both on at the same time, which is
right.
just makes us the best soupy mess.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, do you ever just get vertigo and fall over when you're like?
I never. Listen, you should never put them both on at the same time unless you have good insurance.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is great. Okay.